Hi everyone, I'm Sarah, Childhood Finds, and today I'm actually kind of really excited about this video because I mostly did it for me, because of my own curiosity for this, and I think it paid off. So this topic we're talking about today, I want to put a big disclaimer that I am not telling you to run out and buy this item and buy tons of these items to resell or to collect that will grow in value. I am not saying that you should do that. I just want to show you that in this genre, there are items that are worth a ton of money because you will hear over and over in the reseller community, do not pick up these items to sell. And most of the time that's true. But I'm going to show you a few that are actually kind of worth your time to pick up. And what we're talking about today are collector plates. So these, how I'm defining it, are items that are pretty much designed to be displayed. Yes, some of these may have been used in table settings, but for the most part, these are items that are meant to be put up in your china cabinet and shown off or put on the wall. So I just want to show you a few that you could find and make really good money off. I tried to do kind of a variety of them. I have some that are in the thousands, if you can believe that. Multiple hundred ones. So I have quite a few. I have a fair amount to show you today, and I hope you can at least enjoy this video, and maybe someday you'll find one of these, which I think is pretty likely. So like many of my other research videos, I don't like to get ones that haven't had multiple solds in the last few years. So if it's an item that I'm only finding one sold within the interwebs, then I'm not going to share that because that's pretty hard to find. Not saying it can't be found, but it's harder. I want to show ones that have multiple records of sale and are likely for you to find and be able to purchase and hopefully have it grow in value or to resell. So let's go ahead and get started with these, and please put in the comments which one surprised you the most, and I hope you enjoy this. Thanks. This first one we're going to talk about is a pretty big money one, and as I like to do, I do want to tell you a little bit about maybe the history or something that might make this valuable, just to give you a little more information because I enjoy it. So I'm going to share it with you. And so this first one is the title is Rare Presidential Haviland Rutherford B. Hayes Oyster Plate, Limoges, France, and it was in 1880. And so oyster plates in general can be pretty collectible and definitely something I would look into picking up. This one sold for the price shown at $8.99. They did receive positive feedback on the item, so if I tell you that, I like to go in and look because a lot of times that's really going to tell you if the sale went through. So there wasn't any cancellations or relisting or anything along those lines. That's telling us this was likely a good sale. And this one actually can sell up for even higher than what is shown. And let me show you in Terapeak. This one went on auction for $8.99, but we also have some that you can see as high as $2,500, but we have a couple here in the 2000s, 1800. So these can go much higher than what was actually shown on that recent listing. So when I'm showing you those recent listings, they are sold on eBay. I do eBay just for ease of sharing the items, and those are within the last 30 days. If I'm going on Terapeak, it's showing within the last 2 years that it sold. You can see that so many of these sold for high. A few are under that 800 plus price range, but quite a few are really high into the thousands, which is pretty crazy. And let me see what I've got here. So I have written that Hayes commissioned a state dining service for the White House. These were designed by Theodore Davis. So let me show you on the back. It does show his name. There we go. Oh, nice and blurred. That's still pretty blurred, but it is Theodore Davis. That is his name there, and just the information that you need. So this one's a big money one. And in general, oyster plates can be really good money. So I pick up those pretty fancy oyster plates. And let's get to our second one. So I can't help but laugh. This one is creepy. I don't want this on my wall. But this is an antique Nippon Bulldog plaque plate, blown out relief and hand painted. Let me show you the marking on the back. There it is, just hand painted in Nippon. And just so you know, so Nippon, we can kind of date it by just that use of the word. And that means it's a piece that was imported from Japan between 1891 and 1921. So somewhere in that time range is when this plate was done. And this did sell for the $299.99. It's just, that doesn't scream Bulldog to me. But, you know, it's nicely done. Just, it's interesting. But let's look. I want to show you on Terapeak that although this exact one hasn't sold a ton, there are different versions of this plate that have sold. And so we can see here that there's a blue Nippon Wedgwood. I didn't see that it was Wedgwood. And it sold for $1,300. But then we have a couple down here in the range kind of that we're looking at. We have a $351. We have another $300, another $500. So really these Bulldogs ones sell for good money, $230, even and over $100 for an ashtray. That's kind of fun. But the plates, we can see that these do go for really good money. And although they don't come up a ton, they're definitely something I would pick up. And just remember that in general about the Nippon mark, about when that was made. So that really tells you that that item's an antique you're looking at if it is marked with that. And let's see what we got next. So this is a new in-box Spode, the Imperial Plate of Persia. And it is a limited edition piece. This one sold for $400 on a best offer. They did receive positive feedback, and there's also positive feedback left for the Bulldog plate previously as well. And let's kind of look at the back here. So we can see the back, and this does give us a little bit more information. So this was an edition of 10,000, which really, that's a pretty high edition number, all things considered, for the value to be so high. And so it was 10,000, and it was to commemorate 2,500 years of Persian monarchy. And it was done by Spode in England and sold for $400. It does have the box and all of the paperwork, so it is in beautiful condition. And that's a great price. And definitely, it looks like your typical collector plate. Do I have any other information? If you see me looking down, I do have a cheat sheet here, just of what I'm going through. So if you see me just look down randomly, that's why. And this one is a Royal Copenhagen Christmas plate from 1908, and it's very small. So looking at other listings, I was seeing this is only about roughly 6 inches, so it's a teensy tiny little plate. And let me show you the mark on the back. There's the Royal Copenhagen, and this one was actually, it was the first Christmas plate made by Royal Copenhagen, and they didn't know how popular it was going to be, so this first run was pretty small, which is why it's going for such good money. This one did sell for the $1,200 that was shown, and they did get positive feedback for it, and it is a nice picture. It's kind of a Madonna and Child picture, and since this is the first time they released this plate in a limited run, that's why it's so valuable. But I also want to share a lot of the early Royal Copenhagen Christmas plates are still valuable as well, not just this one. So do keep that in mind. I saw ones from the 30s and 40s also going for 100, 200 plus. So I think that's also something to keep in mind. That's also really good money. I don't know if they're as petite as this one. I didn't quite look into that, but definitely a good pickup. And this one is Girl in the Moon Artist Plate Project. And this one is done by Yoshitomo Nara, edition of 250. So let me tell you a little bit about this project, because I'm actually going to show you 2 from it, but there are many others you could look for. And so this was done by the Coalition for the Homeless in 2020, the height of the pandemic. They did this, and over 40 artists participated, and each did a plate with 250 in each edition, and each plate cost $250. And these are still holding up value even a couple years later, and there are so many different ones. So the reason I'm sharing this is, even though they're a small edition number and it'll be harder to find, there's quite a few artists that you can look for that are worth good money. Not all of them are going to be the same value, but there's quite a few that are really high in value. This one did sell for $498.88. Let me show you the back. So you can see right there, it says produced for Coalition for the Homeless. So that's really what you're going to want to look for if you find these kind of plates. And you can see a whole list and picture of these plates. Is that here? Oh, look, there it is. So there's a whole bunch of them you can see here that were designed that you can look for. And so there's one of them. Let me look at the next one. So this one seems to be the most valuable that I have found in this kind of series. And this is an artist plate project, Virgil Abloh Life Plate, limited edition of 250. And again, this shows, it looks like some of these were released after 2020. So it looks like I believe they started this benefit in 2020 and then continued it maybe. Either way, that's pretty much what it is, but that's amazing, that kind of price. So keep your eye out for these kind of ones. This one also says produced for Coalition for the Homeless. And of course it is increased in value because it has the box, paperwork, everything looks brand new. Let's go on to our next one. And this one is going to be a designer brand you've heard before, so it makes sense why it sold for so high. So Hermes. I'm not positive exactly. I'm not a designer brand person, guys, if you couldn't tell. And it's a picture plate Cocker Spaniel, porcelain octagon yellow white. And it's just a Cocker Spaniel. Like, if I just looked at the front of this plate and didn't pick it up and investigate further, I would leave it. I would absolutely have left this behind, because how many plates have you seen with little dogs and kittens on them that are worth like $7 with paperwork and box? So that's why it does pay to investigate further. Let's take a look at the back on this. And that's where you can see the mark that would be a, hey, you should probably pick me up kind of mark. And this too also comes with, looks like box. And I don't see paperwork, but it looks pretty pristine for what it is. But it's very nicely done, of course, because of the brand. But it's one I probably would have left behind if I didn't look any further into it. And it did sell for the 268. That's about the average. There are a couple that went up into 300, a little into the 400 as well, and then some under this. But I'd be happy. This one is going to be So Much to Learn, Decorative Plate by Todd Warner. And he has a series of these plates, so there's quite a few different ones that you can look for. I don't have the back shown on this one. I might on the next, because I'm showing you two of these. And this is just a cute giraffe one. And then it's got a little guy right there that he did. That's adorable. This did sell for the $350. And there's quite a few in the series. This was only done for a limited time, I believe in the late 90s. So I do have to share with you because it bothered me. They put it as new, but then they show defects. That does bother me a little. But you know, I always have to bring up something that bothers me in these videos. I can't help it. And let's keep going to the next one, because I have another one to show you in this same series as well. This is the ceramic lion collector plate, and that lion has seen some stuff. What's up there? Is it oh, it's a little mouse. Oh, he's also kind of terrifying. But you can see it's beautiful work. So you can tell that A lot went into this, and definitely probably valuable. Oh, there it is. It's signed on the side. I don't know if there's anything on the back because I don't have anything that show it. Oh, this was done in 2001, 2003. How neat. So this isn't really that old, but it does look signed, and so I'd definitely be watching out for that. Let's look at the other one. It has a signature at the bottom somewhere. No. So just look for Todd Warner. I'm not seeing a signature anywhere on the edges here. But this one did sell for the $300. This one we have that I would absolutely, I wouldn't grab this. I know what I mean, I don't look at collector plates. I really did this video, yes, to help everybody, but also I do it for myself because I don't look at collector plates. I do the every time I see a collector plate. It's just the sound I make because I do not want anything to do with those. I have some that I've had for multiple years sitting in my room that have been listed for years, and they just take a long time to sell, but I wasn't picking up the right ones. Here are some of the right ones to pick up. And so this is a vintage Bramley Hedge Summer Story Mouth Egg Collector Plate by Bradford Exchange. So I know this isn't huge money, but I just wanted to share it because it's one I probably wouldn't have picked up. And they can sell for more than this as well. I did see some that sold for more. And the Bramley Edge, just so you know, is a series of 8 children books, and it's by Jill Barklam. This one does have the box and all the paperwork. That, of course, adds to the value of it. But there are some in this series that do have some more value, some that have sold for more. So it's definitely something I would look into if I was looking at plates. We can look just a little up close. It is very cute and very pretty. But that's the hard thing I've struggled with collector plates, is I've gotten ones that I think are just amazing, and they turn out to be worth $12, and then they sit for 2 years. So I think this is an interesting topic to go into. All right, let's go to our next one. This is Danberry Mint Peanuts. It just needs a little love. Holiday collector plate. And this one, so these ones I didn't see a lot, and there's some peanut ones that don't sell for very good money at all in the Danberry Mint collection. So you do need to look up the ones you're finding. I would not suggest to just pick up all peanuts Danberry Mint you find. But this one did sell for $215.50. It did get positive feedback. Let's take a look at the black, or the back. And it does just say it's a limited edition collector plate. So, awesome. Let's go on to our next one. We only have a couple more left. If you enjoy this video, I could probably do another 1 or 2 on this topic. You just got to put down in the comments that you'd like to see more of them. And this one's going to be a Cinderella Bradford Exchange Disney Princess Carousels 3D plate. So this one is very intricate, and I would have still picked this up if it was cheap. And there are others in this same style with different princesses that also go for good money. I just wanted to show you at least one of them. And it's beautiful. So it does have the certificate of authenticity, but it looks like it is a high edition number. First issue in the Disney Princess Carousels. Okay. But, I mean, this one is $28.98, so there were quite a few of these, which is, you know, this is a pretty good price for something that has a high edition number. I don't know how many exactly, but if this one's already $28.98, and this one did sell for the $150 that is shown. But very pretty. So this edition is limited to a maximum of 295 casting days. And that doesn't really mean much when you look at stuff, because in some plates they can make a lot of stuff in that amount of time. So don't always take that as that means it's worth a lot of money. But this one is worth quite a bit of money. But that doesn't always mean it's worth a lot, because you can pump out a lot of stuff in 295 days. And then we're going to go on to our last one. And this is Bing and Grondal 1895 Christmas Plate behind the frozen window. And so this one, there are a lot within this Bing and Grondal that do sell for really good money. This one is, of course, the creme de la creme, and it's much like our first one, or not the first one, the Royal Copenhagen Christmas plate, where this was the first of their Christmas plate series. And so this one's worth huge money. This one sold for $2,700. And it did receive positive feedback from the buyer. And there are multiple ones up in this 2,000 plus range. I do, it seems like the price for these ones does go down pretty quickly for the Christmas plates. But there is still value in the late 1800 ones. But it seems like once you get into the 1900s, a lot of these seem to go down in value. So do be aware of that. Check the item you are looking up. But there are a lot of Bing and Grondal that do sell for really good money as well. So it's definitely kind of a company to look for. And that is all of them for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and were kind of surprised by it. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Remember to put down in the comments if any of these surprised you. And please write if you want to see another one like this. I could probably make another one like this. Just say that you'd like to. And thank you for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one.